Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I think we have to talk a little bit about Nikocado Avocado. Now, if you don't know who Nikocado Avocado is, follow me on Instagram. Not if you don't know who he is, just follow me on Instagram. I don't really know how to catch you up. He's a controversial mukbanger. That's the one sentence pitch of Nikocado Avocado. Accomplished violinist. Vile. He also did OnlyFans for a bit. Everyone remember that video that I did about his OnlyFans? I'm pretty sure he saw that video but didn't reference it by name, but said that it was funny. Nikocado Avocado thinks I'm funny. What was that? Didn't even say his name properly. Anyway, he's a controversial mukbanger who for the past few years gained noticeable weight from doing a lot of... I don't know what to call it. It's like an overeating style of mukbang, because mukbang came from a concept in South Korea, you know, because the work culture is a bit OTT. No offense, South Korea. I think I had a dream about Korea. Was that North Korea? I think I had a dream last night about North Korea. I think I was stuck there and I couldn't get out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I was a prisoner of war apparently in my dream last night. Regardless, it was a style of food video where I think because the work culture is a little bit OTT, there's also an epidemic of loneliness. So people who were lonely after work, from working too hard, they would watch videos of other people eat and it would be kind of almost like a social interaction, though not really, like in a quite parasocial sense, right? But not parasocial in the sense that it comes from a celebrity of obsession, parasocial in the sense that work-life balance is just nothing. Anyway, but then the Americans got hold of this concept. Is that mean to say the Americans got hold of it and took it to like new levels? So you get certain types of mukbangers who just who just eat and eat and eat, and it's meant to be over the top and just exorbitant. I can't talk today. A lot of food, right? So Nikocado Avocado, he did that kind of style of mukbang, and then he would have a lot of fights with his, I don't know if they're still together, his boyfriend, his ex-boyfriend, all in. Before we get too into it, so basically he gained a lot of weight because he was doing this for several years. He used to be a raw vegan and was very slim, and then did these style of mukbangs, wasn't raw vegan anymore. Anyway, he uploaded a video the other day where he had lost all of the weight and gone back to pre-unhealthy mukbang days. Now, what gets people about this is that he's got 5 channels. The lore of Nikocado Avocado is too much. He's got 5 channels, and he had been, I think on his main channel he hadn't uploaded in 7 months, but on the other channels he had been uploading like fairly recently. And so it just appears out of nowhere, like overnight, he'd lost 200 plus pounds. But he mentioned in his second channel, because he did a video on there, that he hadn't recorded for 2 years. So he had obviously pre-recorded a backlog of videos 2 years ago and had them stacked so he could release them every now and then just to keep interest in his channel alive. People also noted on things like Reddit that he was re-uploading older content, and one of the videos that he uploaded in the past 2 years showed his Colombian house that I don't think he has, or his flat that he used to live in Colombia. So this has shocked and bamboozled absolutely everyone, and at face value, the discipline that it takes to not say a peep for 2 years whilst you're losing weight and you're uploading old content. I did see someone on Reddit say that their friend claimed they had seen a much slimmer version of Nikocado Avocado in California, but they thought it was just a doppelganger. And now with this come to light, it probably was just Nikocado Avocado. So it's really interesting. Just from the discipline side alone, he did a documentary of Umperville and they started a podcast together, and it didn't last that long. And I think they claim it didn't last that long because he was only doing the podcast with them when like he went to visit. But maybe it's because he had already decided that he wanted to lose the weight and thus didn't want to appear on a podcast or appear on anyone's like content for 2 years until he had lost the weight. Now, Nick is claiming that this was all just a social experiment and that he wanted to put on a bunch of weight to see how much people would throw hate at him or shade or make fun of him. And He had said before, I think in the Oompa Loompa, is it Oompa Loompa? I don't know. Regardless, he had said before at some point that when he got to the age of 30, he wanted to lose all the weight because his belief was that once you get to 30, your body can't really take things anymore. But if you give up before 30, it's okay. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but regardless. So when he turned 30 and that came when, and I know this because one of my close friends, he, over the lockdowns, was watching Nikocado. So was I a little bit too. It's my toxic trait. I've always found Nicocado's videos very entertaining. If you don't, you should. Everyone has that friend on like Facebook or Instagram who they don't really talk to, but they stay following nonetheless because they're just ridiculous. That's how I feel about Nikocado Avocado. That's how I feel about Nick. I'm just going to call him that from now on because I'm fed up of saying Nikocado Avocado. I'm fed up of saying that. It's a tongue twister. I'm fed up. So now obviously him getting down to a healthier weight, it can only really be a good thing. I know there's going to be like one person out there that's like, how dare you say that? Well, I'm not even going to bother to explain why it is better that he's taking better care of his health. I'm not entertaining that. Argue amongst yourselves, I don't care. However, to come back and call all of it one big social experiment, I mean, I could imagine it would be like a personal experiment in that, hey, maybe if I do this, how much money can I make from this and everything that comes with it? But to call acting crazy just to see what people's reactions are, I don't mean acting crazy in like his mukbangs. I mean all the stuff besides that. He would deliberately do things to antagonize and provoke people. I'm gonna get in trouble for laughing at this. So he did things like he would make his thumbnails as like provocative on purpose as possible. He would clearly also Photoshop his thumbnails to make him look more unwell than he actually was. Like he would deliberately make his face look really red in the thumbnails, or there was one thumbnail he had where he had some sort of like breathing apparatus on his face, and I think the video was something like had to go to the hospital or like almost died. It was something really clickbait. Now sure, you can turn around and say yes, that was all a social experiment. Maybe in some way it was, but that's like if I went on the tube and just started yelling at everyone and bothering them and then afterwards said, oh yeah, but it was a social experiment. I mean, technically it's true, but also it's not. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I feel like it's just such a, almost slightly a cop-out to be like, ha, I was only pretending to be stupid. Not saying that he was, but if I was to act stupid and then, do you know what I mean? I was only pretending to act stupid. No, but you... I don't know my point. I feel like it's a handy catch-all phrase. Like all bets are off. I can just go and do whatever I want as long as I call it a social experiment afterwards. I mean, so his video when he came back, his persona was completely different. Gone was the screaming, crying, screeching Nikocado that we all know and know. I love that stuff. My sense of humor is broken. You guys know that, right? My sense of humor is truly broken. Do you remember when I thought the height of comedy was that one TikTok where a big wheel fell on a man who was walking by and it pulled his shorts down and then he tripped up over his own shorts? So it's just because like a big wheel did. My sense of humor is broken, so I'm the exact type of lobotomite that could watch a Nick video and laugh at him like screaming. It's just the height of comedy for me. I remember this one video where he and Orlin, they were talking normally and then Nick was like, oh, and then you cheated on me. Oh, can I have a hamburger? Like his mood changed just like that and it made me laugh so much. Is that bad? I don't care. But in his new video, he's quiet, he's a bit more thoughtful, he's got his parrot Mr. Noodles back. So it's almost like the past 7 years were just a dream and didn't actually happen. And I think that goes to show how incredibly manipulative he is, because people are being like, oh, this is his redemption arc, and it's like, but it's not, is it? Not to diminish, losing 250 pounds is crazy, but it's not like acting quiet for one video has shown that he's had a complete personality transplant. People bring up the people that he's had public beefs with, like Stephanie Sue and Trisha Paytas. Does the Trisha Paytas one count? Didn't she ghost him? I don't remember that in the TCU, the Trisha Cinematic Universe. And it's like, even if he was playing a character, he still hurt a bunch of people. Do you see what I mean? And so people are calling this his redemption arc, and it's like, but he's not shown that he's going to be nicer. He's just been quiet for 2 videos. We're going to have to wait and see. Because Nikocado Avocado, he always was a character, and I think that did go over a few people's heads. It was a silly character in the same way that, remember Anision had that chibi character that I think was just a rip-off of like a Shane Dawson character.
Hey guys, I'm Chibi Dirt.
No, Fred. Anision's character was a rip-off of a Fred, and they would do similar things like getting to empty swimming pools and cover themselves in ketchup and scream. Nikocado was just doing that, kind of. So clearly it was a character, because he's not seriously going to do that and then appear on podcasts and actually manage to, like, you know, speak coherently. I find these switch-ups, though, in the personality and the characters and whatnot, so manipulative, but I find that so interesting. I am the problem, it's me. Hello, I'm the big problem here. I find people like this so interesting. At least you can say they're not boring. Like, most people are just boring idiots. I'd rather people be interesting idiots, like myself. But he's so manipulative. I think he's definitely someone that you would watch from afar on your Instagram rather than like directly get involved with. He could be really nice. No, because I've seen some people say, oh, well, maybe like Umpava was in it and maybe like Stephanie Sue was in it. And I watched that Stephanie Sue video when it came out a few years ago, and I don't think she was in on anything, because if people are faking a certain level of things just for entertainment now, I feel like we've lost this generation. Do you know what I mean? Now, my headcanon, why did he come out right now? Some people have said, oh, it's because he ran out of content, but other people have like noticed he was re-uploading, or he was just like editing older bits of content together. So my headcanon is that he came out with this now just to spite iNabber, because last week Frasier released a 7-hour long like documentary thing on Nikocado. So my headcanon is that he saw that, because he definitely Googles himself. Because remember that time ages ago, I signed up to his Patreon because he had a tier that was like, number 1 tier was like 300 quid and you could talk to him directly. So I signed up for it for a video, and then I like messed it up. He emailed me pretty much that night to be like, no, it's okay, blah, 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 blah. If you didn't see the video, I went onto the Patreon, and then it came up with loads of FBI warnings, like if you leak any of this Patreon, you will be sued. And then I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And I looked really stupid, basically. So he emailed me like pretty quickly. So like, he clearly, you know, keeps up with what people are saying about him. I reckon he saw the iNumber video and he was like, bet. Which, if so, that would be the basest reason to do anything ever. And I heartily, sorry Fraser, but I absolutely support that. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about idiots annoying me. So people on Reddit were talking about this. To be fair, I think it was like the YouTube drama, Reddit, and some others. I feel like the average age of those subreddits have got to be quite low, because, yeah, people saw that the last time he'd uploaded, it's the critical thinking angle. The last time he'd uploaded on the main channel was 7 months ago. So then people see that he's lost £250. And some people, not all, but some people on the Reddit were being like, oh my God, if he's lost that amount of weight in 7 months, then he's gone on the other end of the scale, and he's done it really unhealthily, and he must have just like starved himself the whole time or just drunk water. Now there was, I can't find it for the life of me. Let me look.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I found it. There was a bloke once called Angus Barbieri who went 382 days without eating. If you've ever done water fasting, you'll know this stuff already, right? It was part of an extended fast experiment, so he was being seen by doctors. He ate no food for 382 days, so just over a year. He had multivitamins and water, and that was it. And he lost, in that amount of time, 382 days, 125 kilos, which is 275 pounds. Now, obviously, everyone is different, but I feel like people who know a little bit about water fasting would know that, like, you can't lose 250 pounds in 7 months, even if you just drank water. I don't believe you can. It took this guy over a year to lose like 250 plus 25 on top, you know? So yeah, a lot of people on Reddit were being like, oh, well, he's been really unhealthy because he's done it the other way. And it's like, dude, Occam's razor, surely. Like, realistically, the most obvious answer isn't that he just didn't eat for 7 months straight. The most obvious answer is that he filmed a backlog of videos to then troll people, because the whole Nick being a character thing, he's also always been a troll. When I signed up for that Patreon, it said that I'd be credited as a producer, and he did in a few videos. He spelled Alizee wrong, and he clearly did that on purpose because the guy is a troll, right? So he clearly did this to troll people. I think it would be impossible to lose £250 in 7 months, but people just being like, oh my god, I can't believe he's done it. It was really stupid and it was really annoying, and they just weren't thinking, they just weren't doing a bit of Googling. Now, if someone actually has managed to do that by only water fasting for 7 months, then I hold my hands up, I'm wrong, but I don't think it's possible. And I've read a lot on water fasting. But on the flip side of it, on Nicocado's TikTok, he made a TikTok of him dancing, right? A recent one. And people on comments on the ones before, so his pre-weight loss weight, people were commenting, being like, oh my god, I knew that this wasn't real. I knew that this TikTok of him wasn't real and that it was AI generated. I knew he was making deep fakes. So I saw one person on Reddit being like, oh, thinner Nick doesn't look the same as he used to, so he must be doing deep fakes of himself. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen Ant-Man 3, but the CGI in Ant-Man 3 is shit. So you're telling me that you think that Nikocado Avocado has has better CGI than a Marvel film? You're telling me that you think a YouTuber has access to like some of the best deep fake AI generated technology we've ever seen? It was just so like it's weird. We've come to this weird point now with the internet where AI generated images that are like so obviously AI generated can fool boomers, because of course it can. But now the younger generations are almost thinking that like everything is AI generated. We're in conspiracy theory land, because I remember like 15 odd years ago being on them David Icke forums, being on my conspiracy theory forums as I did as a teenager, because I had nothing better to do. Seeing people say, oh, look at this video of like, who was it, David Cameron or whatever, look at this video of him, it's clearly fake, it's clearly CGI. Like, we're now in conspiracy theory territory, but like mainstream. Very odd. That's actually all I have to say about all of that. I think it's funny that he chose to do it this way, and I choose to believe that he did it just to wind up Iron Aber, and we'll see if the nice, new, calm and collected Nick is here to stay, or if he devolves back into screaming, crying and shitting himself in the chair, which, like, if there's anything that is, I hope is AI generated, I hope that was AI generated. Remember when he did that? Anyway, that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. At the moment, actually, I'm gonna make a lot more videos, because I'm kind of like, do you remember when I'm exactly like Nicolas Cage. Do you remember when Nicolas Cage like lost all his money and got in trouble or something, and then he had to do like all of those kind of bad films? You're going to be seeing a lot more of me. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.